After every England loss, it seemed easy to blame Bazball. But in Ranchi, England actually shied away from Bazball but still lost the test. How do you guys read this?
I hope what England don't do is, because it's their lowest scoring rate in the 2 years that they've been playing this expansive game, they might say they should have gone harder. They might say they should have played more aggressively and they'd have been in a better position. I would disagree. I think they just need to play smarter at times. And you look at Joe Root's innings in the first innings, it was Joe Root of a few years ago, just knocking it around, playing very technically correct. Obviously, he's got boundary options and all the skill elements of that little kind of run down to third that he played beautifully off Jadeja many, many times. That's Joe Root at his best. And I hope the rest of the batting lineup are almost going to sit with Joe and say, what was it that you did this week that you've not been doing for the previous 3 test matches? Because it was a different Joe Root. Whether they'll admit it or not, whether they'll admit that they've had conversations on, Joe Root did not play all the fancy tricks and the flicks that we've seen over the previous few weeks. He wasn't dancing down to Ashwin to try and launch him over mid-wicket. He just played. And I just wonder whether a few of the other players, I'm not saying some of the firecrackers at the top, the Crawleys and the Ducketts, and that's the way they're going to play. And I think they're actually better for it. But I just think Johnny Bairstow, the skipper, Ben Stokes, there's not many runs coming from the skipper. That's a big problem area for England's batting. But can they all take a little bit of a leaf out of Joe Root this week? Because he did change his mentality in his game plan and he got a tremendous 100 and he looked so much more controlled for it. For them to compete against the better teams, DK, as I've said many, many times, you can't just play in one gear. You can't, because you'll get found out. You've just got to go up and down in the gears, play the situation, read the pitch, read the bowlers. That's why Test match cricket's the best format, because it allows you that time to just play the situation that little bit more sensibly at times. And if they can do that, I think they're in a very strong position going forward, playing Test match cricket against all the other teams. And not many teams go to India and win. Not many teams compete in India. Well, this England side, if you go back to the England tour last time round where they got absolutely hammered, they won that first test and then they got blown away and they didn't really compete at all. Well, this England side is competing pretty much every session. They deserve a lot of credit for that, but ultimately it is about winning at the end of the day.